Hello, everyone. Paco here. Good morning. This is Coffee and Headlines. It is Sunday, April 5th, and it's another day to connect with you and see how everybody's doing. If you are new to this stream, I go live every morning, take a look at headlines that I've been reading, and I share them with you as I'm drinking coffee. I hope you have a nice cup of coffee ready to go. I see some of you are stopping by to say hello. Michal, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Please let us know where you're watching from so that we can get a sense as to where everybody is. Yesterday, I went to the supermarket, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, let's get to the things that are important today. It is Palm Sunday, and for those of us that are here in Puerto Vallarta, it's the beginning of Semana Santa week. Semana Santa being Mexico's spring break equivalent. And in any other year, what many of us locals would have done if we had chosen to stick around during the holidays is to make sure that our refrigerators are well stocked, our pantries are well stocked, and we're staying home put. Why? Because so many visitors come to Puerto Vallarta, nationals and foreigners during this time, that a lot of us tend to just stay home and shelter from the overwhelming amount of visitors that we get during this particular week. Now, this year, of course, it's a different matter. The government has been very, very clear in sending polite messages to the world that to the effect of, we love you, but not this week, stay home. And of course, some people have been paying attention to this, others haven't, as we're going to see in some of the headlines. So we're going to see how what's going on and how are people reacting to this? Are we getting concerned? Are we getting nervous? Are we getting cranky? Are we getting judgmental? And we'll dive in a moment. First of all, I'd like to say hello to Nina. Good morning, Nina. It's good to see you. My friend Nina, she is a wine distributor. In case you don't know her, she has a company called Cork and Bottle, and she delivers wine. And right now, in this particular time, she is addressing one-on-one needs. Obviously, her store is closed. So if you need wine, get in touch with her. I'll put her page on the comment section. Good morning, Eddie. It's so nice to see you again. I'm so glad you're joining us today. If you are joining us just now, let us know where you are. Let us know what you're up to, and I'll try to get to all the comments as we go by. So let's take a look at some of the headlines. Yesterday, we started talking about daylight savings. I just wanted to mention that again, just so that we are all on the same page. Mexico we moved our clocks forward 1 hour today in case you're watching from somewhere else and you're catching this stream at an odd time. So this is a photograph taken right outside of Guadalajara, the capital city for our state, where the government set up checkpoints for thousands and thousands of cars that started leaving the city yesterday and the day before. Of course, this being the weekend prior to Semana Santa, this is the time in which most people start heading out on vacation. Again, the government has been very clear. This is not a vacation. This is not a time to be traveling, but they are trying to stop cars and say, where are you headed? If you're going on vacation, stay home. This has not been as successful as we'd like. In fact, the governor of Nayarit, the state that is just north of us, has been very verbal about the fact that people should, should stay home. And but unfortunately, not many people are paying attention to this. The governor said, "No tienen madre," which is a strong phrase in Mexico that literally means you don't have a mother. But what it means is, you are, well, you don't have a mother. I mean, that's pretty offensive for the governor to say this. The governor claims in this article that appeared in Excelsior that he even has knowledge of the fact that some of the people that are heading into our area or Banderas Bay are people that are have tested positive for COVID-19, and they're hoping to reach their beach homes to convalesce. This has upset a lot of people, obviously. I would be upset as well. Meanwhile, in places like Rincon de Guayabitos, which is one of the most popular destinations with Mexican vacationers, has started these operatives in which they're telling people, don't go to the beach. We this is not the time to be here. This is not the time to be on vacation. Um, because of the large number of tourists that are leaving Guadalajara and headed into Nayarit. The Nayarit governor went as far as to sending a letter to Airbnb that uh, basically says, we know that our state has a long tourism tradition and that historically we have um, received our visitors and tourists with our open arms, but things are different today. Please know that we are inspecting all properties known to be Airbnb properties, and we will shut them down if we find out that they're not abiding by the current guidelines to protect the integrity and the health of the people from Nayarit. And that's what's going on north of our border, not the Mexican border, but our state border. Meanwhile, elsewhere through Mexico, I found this awesome, well, not awesome, but you know what I mean. I mean, this looks like a scene from MacGyver or Hawaii Five-O, in which there are helicopters in Merida that are chasing behind aquatic scooters to keep them from going into the water. And this is not a good time to be having fun in the water. And again, Mexico's government has been very clear to say that beaches and all beach related services are closed during this time. Um, South of Jalisco, this photograph comes from the beaches in Colima, which is a state that is south of us. Again, the state has been very proactive in making sure that people the get a hint that our beaches are closed. You shouldn't be there. Here in Puerto Vallarta, the local authorities have started shutting down businesses that have failed to understand or follow the guidelines that if you're not an essential business, you should be closing down. So it's nice to see that the local authorities are taking these things seriously and helping us get a better sense as to those businesses that should not be operating right now. Now, here's the tricky part because we've seen a lot of comments on social media about whether it's okay for people to be doing this or it's not okay for people to be doing this. And the truth is, we all get really ugly when we're scared, and some of us get judgmental about what we think people should be doing. And we've all been there. I mean, I've been to the movie theaters where I'm watching a movie, and halfway through the movie, a guy sitting behind of me, picks up his cell phone and takes a phone call and continues to have a lengthy conversation. Or we've been in restaurants where the people sitting at the table next to ours, they were not behaving the way we would expect them to behave. And we've all been caught in these situations in which we would like to just get up and turn around and say to someone, be quiet, or stop doing what you're doing, and so forth and so on. These are very unique times, and it is so very easy to become judgmental. And judgmental is not necessarily a good way to be in these times. So I've been holding on to a wonderful article that my friend Heather Wilson shared with me a few days ago, and I'm going to show it to you now. And this has to do with lessons in judgmental adjustment courtesy of COVID 19. This wonderful article, and I'll leave the link to this in the comments section, was written by Kirk Lapointe, who is publisher and editor in chief of Business in Vancouver and vice president editorial of Glacier Media. And in this article, he reflects, it's a commentary, he reflects on how the current situation makes us be this way. And this is something that we all want to keep in mind as we post comments online, as we make remarks to our friends. If you're here in Puerto Vallarta, you may find yourself in the next few days doing emergency runs out on the street, and you may see people not doing what they're supposed to do, and you may feel inclined to just turn around and say to them, don't do that. But it's for better or worse, it's not our place to make those kinds of comments. It's that's what the authorities are here for, and we need to trust that the authorities are doing the best job they can do to look after our well-being during these complicated times. And last but not least, we should be, well, I shouldn't say should because it's a horrible word. We can choose to focus on taking care of ourselves and our loved ones. And I think that is very, very important. Um, Last but not least, as far as show and tell, I want to share the fact that my friend Debby Holiday is going to be live tonight. She is a wonderful performer that I had a chance to meet in person during her last series of performances here in Puerto Vallarta. I didn't realize that we had so many things in common, so many friends in common, rather. So I wish her well. Debby, I'm thinking about you and Forrest. Stay healthy, stay creative, and find a way to move forward through this. And and that's pretty much most of the show and tell that I have for you. I have a couple of other fun things and other interesting things. The first one happened to me just as we were ending this broadcast yesterday. Not even 20 minutes had gone by when I received this notice from Facebook. Apparently, a Chinese media source um, submitted a dispute on Facebook about copyright because of something that I showed on my screen. And I was really curious about this because I figured what could have possibly offended them. So, right here it says matching 12 seconds of video. And get this, when I clicked on this, the part of my broadcast that offended this Chinese media company was the video that I shared with you that was published by the Centers for Disease Control, showing how to make a face mask. So I was pretty amazed at this. I don't quite understand why these people would choose to send a dispute to Facebook about what I was showing. But hey, we're learning about technology. We're learning about how these things work. And we're moving right along. Of course, I disputed the claim. And I don't think they're going to come shut me down. Or at least I really hope they don't. Anyhow, let's continue with show and tell because we have some fun things. Yesterday, I showed you the shenanigans of these two little characters, King Kong and Dulce, who belong to a friend of mine, who then shared this photograph, my friend Kimberly. I didn't know that King Kong and Dulce were watching the stream yesterday. So this is my friend Kimberly, in case you were not here yesterday. She goes out and about through her life and her world, and she takes these wonderful photographs with her two travel companions, and I just love her for that. It's a very fun and creative way to stay creative. I also wanted to show you, because I posted a photograph of what my home studio looks like. This is my kitty cat, and she sits on her perch every day as I'm sitting here to work, and and I just love her company. She is my source of comfort during these days of isolation. And to show you I am not lying, I'm going to introduce you to a very special guest. Come here. Hey, come here. So this is Luna, everyone. Heather, my friend Heather, wanted to see my kitty cat, and I want you to see my kitty cat. Yes, you're on the air, you're on Facebook Live, and you can go back to your perch right now. Yes, sit down. I was telling you earlier that yesterday I went to supermarket. It was my time to go. I had been sitting at home for the last few days, but it was time to replenish a few things. I was very happy to find this at Mega. Mega now sells these reusable bags that you can use when you're buying your greens as your vegetables and your fruits. As you know, supermarkets have now forbidden the use of plastic bags. No, it's not for you to play. It's my bags. Leave them alone. Um, Supermarkets have now banned plastic bags, but there was still the question of whether you have plastic bags for your groceries. I mean, for your vegetables. So now you can buy these bags. And last but not least, here's a little bit of a warning. Don't fall for this. Don't fall for this. This is McCormick's guacamole flavored mayonnaise. It's boring. Don't buy it. I'm going to finish mine because that's what my mother would expect me to do. But if you go to supermarket, get regular mayonnaise. Don't get the guacamole flavored. It was very, very boring. So this is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for saying hello to my kitty cat. That goes to you, Catherine, and that goes to you, Eddie, of course. Today is Sunday, as I said before. Tomorrow, a new week starts. My friend Nina made a suggestion to me earlier today, and this is going to be an invitation for you to comment as you catch this broadcast later on today. What is making you happy right now? We are also overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Tell me what's making you happy these days, because I think, and Nina is right, focusing on the things that make us happy is a good way to get by on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know what you're going to do for the rest of the day. I'm going to stick around my home. Maybe I will go for a little walk. I will be collecting headlines for you this afternoon. And I will see you tomorrow morning, as usual. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great Sunday.